Hello, BookTube. I got a really, really excellent book haul, or at least I think it's excellent. Yesterday, I went over to New Hampshire and went to the Listen charity shop in West Lebanon, New Hampshire. It's a place I go every once in a while. When I do, I'm usually pretty pleased. They do a good job keeping their books together. They're usually $1 for any book, so it makes it really easy. They have started marking some of them a little higher, and when I mean higher, I think the most expensive I saw was $6 and seemed to average around $3.75, and that's very few books. Somebody there obviously thinks these books are worth more than others, and for the most part, looking at them, I think they may be correct. So no complaints, but it did make me run into a problem that I don't normally have there, but which is common on BookTube, and I'll tell you about it, starting with this first book. So I got 20 books, so it's a pretty good haul for me, but I haven't been in a while, and I ran into some stuff that I really wanted. So the first here is Dewey Lambert. Right. Nautical fiction. This is The Captain's Vengeance. It's an Alan Lurie naval adventure. Dewey Lambert, I believe, just died a year or two ago. This is quite a big series. Very excellent. I haven't read this one, so I was pleased to find it. I usually find them in the paperbacks and trade paperbacks. So I was glad to have a hardcover from a really good writer. So, yeah, they've got a picture of him here. But, yeah, so very happy to have it. But what I found when I got home was that they had a sticker. This case, I don't remember. I don't believe it was Listen who did the sticker. I think it was the Borders or somebody like that. And when we took it off, I don't know why, but more so than usual, the glue was stuck to the back. My wife peels them off for me because she's better at it than I am. I'll do the simple ones, but if it's a tough one, she'll help me out. And usually I use those isopropyl alcohol pads, the little ones the doctors use or nurses use to clean your skin before they give you a shot or whatever. And I got boxes of those because they work for a lot of things. They also clean up a dust jacket really nice if it's a smooth paper. This time it was too much for the alcohol pad. The glue was just a mess. And I remember talking to my buddy Sean D. Standfast with the channel of the same name, I think only a week or two ago, and he said that he uses lighter fluid, which this would be an example. And I just put it on a piece of paper towel, and this and the other book that were affected came out fantastic. I mean, so I'm very pleased about that. So Dewey Lambert, The Captain's Vengeance, a nice hardback. Got to find a place to put these things because the stack's big enough that I don't want to be all over the place. So the next thing I got here is the general history of the robberies and murders of the most notorious pirates, Captain Charles Johnson, introduction and commentary by David Cordingley, who some of you will remember Cordingley as the author of Under the Black Flag, a book about pirates. He's very famous for his scholarship on pirates. I have a bunch of his stuff up in the corner there. You can't see it, I don't think. So this is it, the big old trade paperback thing. This thing originally came out in 1724. So it's definitely a source book for pirate history and study. It's Lyons Press. When did this thing come out? 1998, Conway Maritime Press. Introduction was 1998 also. So I have a project ongoing with a bunch of booktubers, and we do it just randomly. It's not a read along per se. It's what we call the Great Pirate Project. And we all have an interest in pirates, and we read it occasionally, and just that's how we identify what we're doing. But it's been going on for years. So, yeah, a pirate book. So, happy to find that. Then the next thing here is Lewis and Clark, The Journey of the Core Discovery, an illustrated history by Dayton, Duncan, and Ken Burns. Ken Burns documentaries I just love. And they always have these companion books. I like to have them. I have Civil War. I have baseball. I have quite a few of them. Always amply illustrated. I think Dayton Duncan does almost all the books with him. So glad to have this for my American history section. And then here, poetry. The Great Modern Poets, the Best Poetry of Our Times, edited by Michael Schmidt. Michael Schmidt, I believe, isn't he the one who did the big book, Lives of the Poets? Oh, they have something about him here. Yeah, they don't really give a bio of him. That's sort of strange. So, I think he wrote that book. So there's Frank O'Hara. Let me see here. T.S. Eliot. Oh, you get a little glare there. So that's the sort of thing I like to dip in and out of. Next, here's one of these oversized things. This is a Barnes & Noble, probably a reprint. This is The World's Great Sailing Ships by Olivier Puget or Puget? I think it would be Puget. I spend so much time on Puget Sound, I would think that's probably why I say it that way. Translated by John B. Letterman, Barnes & Noble Books. Originally published in 1997 in France. No, this is, it looks like Barnes & Noble is the first one to publish it in English, which is sort of cool. I just love these sort of things. Photography, stories. So there we go with that. Then the other culprit with the unbelievable amount of that glue on it. And this is the book that was the original challenge that made me think of what Sean D. Stanfast told me to do. This is Julian Stockwin. It's a kids' sea adventure. I have many of them up on the other side of me here. And it's McBooks Press, who does wonderful nautical books, primarily fiction. And they'll do whole runs of like Dudley Pope or, Alexander Kent. So this is Caribbean, a kids' sea adventure, Julian Stockwin. This came out in 2013. So yeah, it was covered in this glue. So thank you, Sean, for helping me fix this problem. Then we have one of the finds of the day, and this thing only weighs 40 pounds. This is Marcel Proust, A Life by Kidy. Big old giant of a thing. Even came with a nice little bookmark. I chuckled when I saw it. I like finding stuff like that. This is a Brookline Booksmith, and let's see, an independent website for independent minds, online ordering. And it also has a storefront, and it was one for Best of Boston, probably for a shop or whatever. So glad to find that. But this book is really quite the biography. Sort of the standard. It was originally published in France, I think in late 90s. Let me double check. I have not ever read this. It's going to be a project to read it. So American edition, which this is the first American edition, came out in 2000. And the original French edition came out in 1996. So happy to have this. Thinking about doing this and In Search of Lost Time, doing a read through. Probably in the next 5 or 6 months, starting that up. It'll take a while to get through, but it'll be worth it, I hope. So I'm happy. This is one of those books that was marked up higher. I think $3.75, and then it had a particular color sticker on it. We had to take the sticker off this, but the alcohol pad worked fine on this. And because it was the color of a sticker or something like that, my wife said I got it for half that price. So that's sort of nice. Like I told you, this is a big haul, so it's going to take a few minutes. Next one, I love these types of books that are regional in interest. This is Shipwrecks and Seafaring Tales of Prince Edward Island. And it's about 650 miles from my house. So, what, 9-10 hour drive? I should go up. But never been there. When did this come out? This came out in 2001. See if I can give you an idea. So I have a date and then the event. See if they have any images. They should for later ships, I would think. Yeah. So, you know, a nice little, it's a short thing, but sort of thing that interests me. Then this one here, Orhan Pamuk, My Name is Red. I grabbed it just because I love this author's writing. He's from Turkey, Nobel Prize winner. I've read quite a bit of his stuff. And I didn't remember having this particular copy. And then halfway home, I'm thinking, wait a minute, I've read that. So I must have a copy. Got home, thought, oh well, it was $1, who cares? But I got home and I looked at my shelf, I don't. So I'm glad I grabbed it. I think I had it as an ebook, which means basically you rent it, right? But now I have a copy, and this one I may go back to. I really enjoyed it. It's about, I think they're called Miniaturists. They did the art. Let me see if it says anything on the back here. They're tasked to, the most acclaimed artist in the land to create a great book celebrating the glories of his realm. They're tasked to illuminate the work in the European style. But because figurative art can be deemed an affront to Islam, this commission is a dangerous proposition indeed. This was a wonderful book, right? Quite a long time ago. Then this next one I got, this is The Scarlet Letter and Other Writings by Nathaniel Hawthorne. This is the second Norton Critical Edition. I actually have the first. So it may seem unusual for me to want both, but I do. I actually sort of like the cover on this one. And I love these because they have all the critical apparatus articles and all that sort of thing. But you have to be careful, as other booktubers have said. They're used in schools, so highlighting or underlining, all that stuff can be a problem. This one's perfectly clean, so happy to have it. And then this thing is the complete poems of D.H. Lawrence. Now, I've read D.H. Lawrence. This is what is it called? Wordsworth Editions. I have others of these. Their construction's okay. I'm never ever quite sure about the paper, but it seems okay. This is part of the Wordsworth Poetry Library. I have never read D.H. Lawrence's poems until yesterday, and the one I read was a little off color, I guess. I don't know, a little explicit. I don't know how to say it. But, hey, I'll read through it. Might be fun. And let's go with this one. This is a classic work. So, The Stones of Florence by Mary McCarthy, where she just takes you through Florence. Excuse me. Takes you through Florence history, travel toward a log type of thing. A guide to the city. So, always happy to have this. It's a very entertaining book. But I know you can get them with illustrations and all that. I don't believe I have any of them. But I've read it before. Nice little copy. This next one I was really excited to find. I did not know about it. A lot of you guys will know that I'm an ex-Coast Guardsman, and you can see on the cover there, Coast Guard helicopter. This is Into the Storm by Tristan Corton. This little, small trade paperback, and it came out. It's got subtitles: Two Ships, a Deadly Hurricane, and an Epic Battle for Survival. It's Ballantine Books in New York. And when did this come out? 2018. In late September 2015, a Hurricane Joaquin bore down on the Bahamas. Two cargo vessels were swallowed by the storm. El Faro, a 790-foot behemoth with a mostly American crew of 33, And then Minutiae, a 230-foot freighter with a dozen Haitian and Filipino sailors aboard. From the parallel stories of these ships and their final journeys, Tristram Corton weaves an unforgettable tale of two veteran sea captains from opposite ends of the earth and the Coast Guard's battle against a storm that defied prediction, shining a light on the elite rescue swimmers trained for the most dangerous ocean missions. So, ought to be fun, my kind of thing. Then here I got The Life of Thomas More by Peter Ackroyd. I have never read this, but anything, especially nonfiction, I've never really read much of Ackroyd's fiction. In fact, I have one, I can't remember the title, but Peter Ackroyd for nonfiction for me is just a wonderful writer, somebody I really enjoy. I just recently hauled his Shakespeare biography, and I've read his Dickens biography and his History of the Thames and all that. This guy I really like. He's done a big series going through English history that I'd actually like to start finding. But so glad to find this. I'm looking forward to it. Trying to move along here because, like I said, 20 books. So this next one, Richard Woodman, who I really enjoy, Beneath the Aurora, a Nathaniel Drinkwater novel. Again, one of these maritime or nautical fiction type things. This one's actually by Sheridan House, the publisher. What's they call it? Mariner's Library Fiction Classics. Happy to find him. I really like his stuff, and this series is particularly good. Then, Shakespeare's English Kings, History, Chronicle, and Drama. Jeez, can't even speak. Peter Saccio. This runs through the kings and the plays, but gives you a historical context, which is really neat. And then I found out that it was a signed edition, so that was nice. And Peter Saccio, at least he used to teach at Dartmouth College, which is not far from here. So we'll go through, he's got a section on Henry the Fifth, Sixth, Richard the Third, Second, all that sort of stuff. I like Shakespeare's books, so that's I'm happy with. Then a book I didn't even know about, Gunter Grass, Of All the Ends. The Tin Drum he wrote is one of my all-time favorite books. I just read a couple years ago, Peeling the Onion, sort of a memoir he did, but this one I didn't know about. Nice hardback. Let's see, translated by Breon Mitchell, Houghton Mifflin, 2016. Some nice artwork in it. Some of it's poetry. Looks like most of it's poetry, but it does look like there's longer pieces. Yeah. So, know nothing about this. It looks like it must have been remaindered at one time. It's got one of those little marker things on it. Almost there, folks. All right. Then this, another maritime fiction. I wasn't sure about this when I grabbed it, and I look at it. I think it's self-published, which is fine with me. It's called Found, the Lost Treasure Ship, Sandy Cristo, by Richard J. Johnson. There's our author. So it's about a bunch of friends who go treasure hunting, so I'm sort of looking forward to it. Well, not sort of, I am looking forward to it. And he's done other novels. There's a list. If anybody's read it, let me know. Then this beast. I got a couple with that Proust being one of them, but this one. This is Willa Cather, 4 great novels. O Pioneers, One of Ours, The Song of the Lark, and My Antonia, with an introduction by Maureen Howard. Big old giant thing. But in a lot of ways, these save your shelf space, right? You get a single volume, and you don't have all the others. But, I mean, this thing's a beast. This thing was put out in 2014 by Skyhorse Publishing. And let me see here if we get a page. They may have individually paginated. No, 1,109 pages. So glad to have it, really. It's a convenient size for the bookshelf and sort of comfortable. It's not too tall or anything. It's short and squat, so it should be fine. And then finally, the last book. I'm not going to do a Steve Pyramid with these. It's just not happening. I'll get buried. An author I love to have fun with, and that's Jack Higgins. And this is one of those, wing books where they do multiple, just like the last one, novels in one volume. This is 3 complete novels from Jack Higgins. The Eagle Has Landed, The Eagle Has Flown, and Night of the Fox. All wonderful books. And I'd love to give a reread. I've probably had them in paperback and hardback multiple times. But the only thing I noticed with these, and you can sort of tell, they do yellow a bit. The older they get, obviously, because of the paper used. But happy to have it. Again, doesn't take up as much shelf space as a bunch of individual books, or maybe it's close, I don't know. So anyway, a pretty good day at Listen, a pretty good book haul. Sorry, this 21 minutes and counting on this video. So coming up in August, I'll be taking part, reading along with the Faulkner group who's doing As I Lay Dying. I'm reading a few other things right now. I'm on, Robert Jordan's The Fires of Heaven. That's book 5 of The Wheel of Time. I've got a Patrick O'Brien, Aubrey Maturin novel going. Yeah, I'm all over the place. So anyway, thank you, BookTube.